Hey, what's going on, gamers? Welcome to episode 2 of Gaming's Howl, the gaming talk show where we talk about anything and everything related to gaming, whether that be news, reviews, movies, history, and more. I am your host, Graywolf, and today we are joined once again by guest and old friend Caesar, also known as Cesarvthunder1.
Why do you have to say that? I hate you.
Quiet,
I'm fine.
I worked very hard on these intros, okay?
Yeah, sure. Just like how you butchered just 5 minutes ago, but you won't see that,
Hey,
unfortunately.
we don't get into that. But yeah, no. So unfortunately, we were not able to do an episode last week because of the fact that just
Real life shit.
yeah, everyone was busy. So, but this week, so we're able to get an episode out this week, and combined with the last 3 weeks of information, we got a whole list of stuff to talk today. First
Oh,
one
brother.
being EA reviving the Dead Space franchise, and I remember that on the last episode. I believe you actually said that you wanted that franchise to get rebooted or revived.
I have always been a big fan of Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2. The third one, it was alright. To the point where you get to the final boss, but we don't talk about the final boss because we don't want spoilers here. Unless, people have played it. But Dead Space 1, when it came out, I want to say it came out at the right time because not a lot of people were doing horror games like Dead Space did when it came out. Like, if I were to look this up real quick,
Yeah, I think I heard from my cousin like some several years back that it was like, oh yeah, by the way, no, like when you pause the button, like or press the pause button, you're still not safe, and I'm like, that just sounds horrific.
yeah, it's like, so the game came out in 2008, right?
Oh my
That
god,
is
you're
a
old.
long time. Look, I'm feeling old right now. Right? I should not have looked this up, but
That's 13 fucking years ago. Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So that that whole mechanic of you pause, quote unquote, pulling out your inventory like in every other game, and the whole freezes. That does not apply to this game, and I found that to be a very refreshing thing because it was new. It was
Yeah.
something that was not done, and also
Didn't it
the time.
also just like innovate the horror survival genre in some ways too?
Yes, because a lot of horror games at the time were very just oh, it was very all just jump scares. This one kind of brought a more psychological point of view into the horror genre because it's not just about, oh, here's a scary monster that's coming to kill you, which 99% of the time that's what it is, but it also dove into how psychotic people became in that game because of what was going on, like how far were they willing to go to survive, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and save themselves.
Now, I forget, did you play all the Dead Space games or no?
I have played through the first one. I have seen the full playthrough of the second one. I have not touched the third one, although I know how the game ends.
Now, was it because of the fact that you just weren't as interested in the third, or you just was it a
So
direction that you weren't a fan of?
it wasn't because it was in the direction that it was going. I always thought that, oh, this game will be. I was one of the first ones who said, like, after playing the first Dead Space game, I'm like, I'm really hoping they bring co-op because this game scares you shitless, and sharing that with a friend, it's kind of like one of those experiences that you kind of value a little bit because you want to see how your friend reacts and screams to the top of their lungs and kind of run away.
I remember
You
back in the
just,
day, back in high school with the Sunder game, how I scared you more than the game. That was good times.
oh, fuck that game too, but we're not going to get into that this time. Maybe next episode, if there's news about it. But, um, personally, they kind of deviated from the horror that was Dead Space and kind of pushed more into a shooter kind of game where ammo was not as scarce anymore. And don't get me wrong, they did um, kind of like advance some of the creatures to make them a little bit more difficult to kill,
Mhm.
but in my opinion, it was not enough to give me that like scariness
Yeah.
vibe.
That kind of sounds like what almost happened with the Resident Evil franchise a bit, because I know that um, while Resident Evil 4 was very beloved, like people felt that Resident Evil 5 and 6 kind of strayed away from the horror roots when it went more towards an action-y type direction. So I could kind of see what you're talking about there.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, Resident Evil does an awesome job, like especially with their newer releases, um, to be kind of horror, but unfortunately it is still jump scares in a way
Yeah.
because you kind of like shoot an enemy and you kind of have to play the 50-50 game of whether he's just dies or he becomes one of those like other like tentacle monsters that comes back after 2 seconds.
Son of a bitch! I thought I killed you.
It's like fuck, that goes all my ammo. But so but Resident Evil has always had that charm
Yeah.
where um even if he's obviously the single players I 100% think are way better than the co-op games because that's how the game originated. That's how the game was originally released, obviously.
Hmm.
And I want to say that the first Resident Evils were scarier because it was
Oh
single
yeah, no, I
player.
believe it. Like I can go back and actually watch like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, even like Resident Evil 0, and it's just like I remember I bought Resident Evil 0 during the Thanksgiving Black Friday sale last year. And even playing through that game, I was just like, okay, like this game actually, like I'm a grown ass man now, in theory. And like this game, it gives me more chills than like games like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6. I think it's because of the fact that
Yeah.
there was a lot more placement on the whole horror and psychological aspect.
Yeah, so with the first Resident Evils, you get the sense it's all about the music and it's all about the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Like the atmosphere, you feel helpless, but you have a tiny bit of hope because you have items. At least
like Dead
you can
Space.
find items.
You have that little flashlight on your goddamn back. That little thing that is like just like bright glow brighter. Uh,
Just don't go red priest. But like,
don't lose your light. I don't want to die.
yeah, exactly. But then I want to say that with the newer Resident Evils, they unfortunately they pushed away from that,
Yeah.
and they did give you, like you said, like you mentioned, they're more action packed. The music is not as kind of like eerie
Yeah.
or like spooky,
Yeah.
and unfortunately because of the co-op, you always have that sense of like, oh, I can go down and I'm not gonna lose the game.
Yeah.
In those games, it was like you go down, you have to restart. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you saved.
Gotta find those goddamn ink ribbons.
Yeah.
Now going back to the whole topic of Dead Space. Now,
Mhm.
out of curiosity, are you at all concerned with the fact that it's getting revived by EA though? The fact that they're doing it, like, do you feel like EA is gonna be doing, like, do you feel like they're gonna do justice?
So, considering how EA has been behind some other titles like Mass Effect, like um, Dragon Age, I don't think they're gonna kill it. I'm hoping that when they are reviving this, I'm hoping that they're bringing back the original developers with it, so that it cannot deviate too much from what it was originally intended. I do believe that the Dead Space 1 was a hell of a short game, but it did its job. But I
Yeah.
think it could have been extended at certain points, and you would have still not gotten bored of it. Like, don't get me wrong, after playing through the second time of Dead Space, I kind of got bored because I already expected everything. The fights, once you figured them out, it's kind of like whatever.
Just imagine speedrunning the game.
Dude, it's signing that speedrunning the game. Like, I don't know. Like, I might be talking out of my ass here, but isn't it like at less than 5 hour run?
Honestly,
Because you can run
I
through
wouldn't be
most
surprised
things.
if it was like a less than 2 hour run. Honestly, knowing speedrunners.
Yeah,
Like,
no lie. In 30 seconds, the game's done.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like I remember like Doom Eternal was like what, an 8+ hour game or something like that, and people managed to get it down to like a half hour.
Dude, but those speedruns are fun to watch because you're watching a guy in a corner next to a trash can just pressing a button, hoping he flies off into the fucking world. I'm like, that's just fun.
I love the whole developer reacts.
Yeah.
Um, so next that we got on the list, uh, I don't suppose you've seen the whole Xbox Game Pass Twitter meme that's been going on, or that had
It,
been going on.
I did not know about it until you put it on the list, and then I had to actually look it up because I'm like, what the hell is this now?
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't actually know about the whole Xbox Game Pass Twitter meme, it was so a couple of weeks ago. Xbox Game Pass was trending on Twitter, and you had a whole bunch of people coming out and saying things like, "Oh, it's like people are accusing us of being shills for Microsoft promoting Xbox Game Pass, and you know what? That's completely crazy. Almost as crazy as the fact that you get hundreds of games for just $10 a month." And it was just like it was the funniest thing ever.
Dude, I found that to be the funniest and the smartest way of advertising
Yeah,
for the fucking Game Pass. I feel like more companies should not take themselves as seriously and do what fucking Microsoft just did in that moment. Because that was everybody will remember that and everybody will be like, "Oh wait, I should probably maybe look into this because of how funny it was." And maybe it's true.
yeah,
So,
like
which it is,
yeah,
by the way.
like
Not
I have a couple
advertised, but you
tweets
know,
like
Microsoft
yeah. Like I have a
sponsor,
couple
please.
tweets saved here. Some one from someone called Tony Polance, where it says, "Tony, Microsoft's paying you to talk about Xbox Game Pass," and he says, "I'm not being paid, but with all the money I save from Game Pass each month, maybe I am a winking face." And then you have one from Yang Yam. I assume you know who he is.
No,
He's someone who covers like a lot of gaming news and whatnot.
got it.
But he put out a tweet saying, "I would never accept money to promote Game Pass, to promote that Game Pass gives you access to hundreds of games and day one releases for only $9.99 a month. And if you're new, you can even get 3 months right now for $1." Like you just had everyone just like putting out those kind of tweets. It
Yeah.
was just hilarious.
Like
Um,
it I think it's the smartest thing for Microsoft to do
no, they really have
because
embraced meme culture, and it's just fun,
yes.
and it's funny because one of my buddies, Pro Shoker, um like he was even talking about how, especially now with like a lot of public relations people or the community managers for their Twitter accounts and whatnot, like they know that people just after having like a hard day at work or whatever, that when they just want to come home and relax, like it just putting kind of like lighthearted things on Twitter or whatever, it just makes the day better, and it honestly does. Like even when I'm at work, like I would just look at these tweets and be like, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, like and the obviously the big thing about it is like you get your laugh, but you remember it. And that's the thing. So I do think that this is a very smart thing that Microsoft did.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
whether
definitely.
some of the people who actually made the tweets were paid or not, you know what? Bravo to you.
I mean, again,
You're
with all the
making
money
Microsoft
we're
more
saving
money.
on Game Pass, we basically are getting paid.
Microsoft sponsor this stream, please.
Let's see. Here's a good topic. So you know how Microsoft's been buying up a whole bunch of studios, right?
Yes.
So apparently, Mu- I'm probably butchering this, but
March.
yeah, House Marge joins PlayStation Studios. So it looks like Sony is also continuing on with their purchasing, because I remember some years back they did also buy Insomniac Games, and I think one other company. I forgot what company that might have been though. But yeah, no, it looks like they're buying up another company. So
So the thing about this company is that so I didn't recognize the company just by looking at the name. And the reason why is because they have not released, I'm sorry to like, you know, if you worked hard on your games or anything, but they have not released anything iconic or anything rememberable. The only thing that I remember from them actually making is Angry Birds Trilogy. And that's only because of fucking Angry Birds. That's literally the only thing that I can recognize the company for. Oh, I looked at the other titles and they kind of like release stuff like every like 2 3 years, but nothing sticks nothing sticks out like immediately if you were to tell me one of the names. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, was it a good investment for them on this company? I don't know. Maybe
I
they see
mean,
something that I
cost-wise, it
don't.
might have been like a good scoop. Cause I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't believe Sony makes any stupid decisions when it comes to studio acquisitions whatsoever. Cause and once again, good friend Pro Ace Joker of mine, Pro Ace Joker, he was talking about the other day how Sony, they're really just banking on studios pumping out gem after gem after gem, whereas Microsoft, like, and I mean, Microsoft, they're also buying up a lot of studios, as I just said a couple minutes ago, but the difference here is that um, Sony, they're banking more on just every single game being a gem to remember, while Microsoft is going more after quantity over quality and just hoping that a few gems get pumped out here and there.
So, but here's the problem, right? So with Microsoft, at least the companies that they're buying, they have released good games like that are actually rememberable. Unfortunately, this company has not released something memorable for me, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else can remember something that this company has made.
I mean,
Please put it in the comments because I can't think of anything.
yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think I've ever even heard of this company until like I heard that Sony bought them. So,
Uh huh.
but yeah, no.
But
I even so though, I thought at the very least it was worth mentioning because that it is. It's definitely a new. I don't want to necessarily say new era, but it's definitely a new strategy from both companies. The fact that they're
yeah,
just now rapidly buying up more studios.
no, yeah, it is showing
So
that PlayStation doesn't want to get left out in the dark with not having extra, I guess, hands to help out on titles.
God, I forgot who has more
So,
studios at this point. I know Xbox has like 23. How much did Sony
oh,
have? Like they've got
uh,
so many that I've lost track.
yeah, I don't know, but it's at least PlayStation is trying, but they need to get on board with some other companies that
Yeah.
hopefully have more titles that we can remember. This is not one of them.
So I remember that another topic that we forgot to cover last time was the fact that, and this is actually going to be leading into our next topic. But one thing we forgot to talk about last time was the fact that GTA servers for both the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are now shut down for GTA 5. I'm gotta be honest, like when I first heard about the Halo servers getting put offline this year, like I was not expecting it for whatever reason. I think it was just because of the fact that's like the thought of it never crossed my mind, but just kind of seeing the GTA servers now get put offline, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm actually getting older now.
Like, don't get me wrong, GTA it's an
a cash
iconic
cow.
franchise. It is pretty much a cash grab kind of game.
They're golden goose.
Like, so does it surprise me that they're gonna be shutting down the old GTA servers? No, because at this point companies need to be cutting losses. Unfortunately, no, there's not that big of a community for the old GTA games, unlike the newest GTA that is out right now.
Yeah.
So they can allocate those resources into the new GTA, and hopefully it helps with
Yeah.
server stability.
Well, I mean,
And
it's also the fact that, and like I'll say this in defense of their decision, the PS3 and Xbox 360, they're now what, two console generations old. Like,
yes,
I
maybe
mean,
three.
no, because we went from PS3 to PS4. Now we're on PS5. So yeah, no, it's two generations old. Um,
Oh,
and it's like I think at this point most people pretty much have transitioned over to, well, the most recent or previous gen consoles. Because even if you can't get your hands on a PS5 or Xbox Series X right now, for the most part, I think most people do have a PS4 and or Xbox One. Um,
yes.
so like I can definitely see the logic behind doing it. And I don't think I feel like the probability of them leaving that many players behind, I don't think it's as high anymore. So I do think now
Yeah,
is probably a
no.
good time because I mean
If it,
it's basically been like what at this point 8 years.
yeah, and if anything, if Microsoft really wants to bring back those old players, they can just release it on the Microsoft Store again. And be
Yeah.
like, hey, here you can buy quote unquote the remaster and play it again.
I mean I don't think Rocks. Well, actually no. I was about to say like Rockstar.
True.
I was about to say Rockstar would remaster it, but they're remastering it again for
Uh,
what the Series X and PS5. Because
Dude, do you remember when the like I don't know if you saw the
comments for when they announced that GTA 5 was gonna be put on Series X and PS5, but the amount of memes where it's just like you just see like a cow that's just kind of like almost bare bones or whatever, just like shaking. It's like, come on, Bessie, time for another milking. It's just like let GTA 5 die. Um, and it was funny because I remember discussing about that with my longtime Zombies partner and GTA buddy some time ago, and he's just like, dude, like, do you realize how old GTA 5 is? And I'm like, no. He's like, it's basically been out for a third of our lives at this point.
oh my god.
Like,
Yeah, it's like don't get me wrong, it is still a fun game to play, but unfortunately, eventually we have to move forward from the old GTA's.
guy,
Like,
how? Hold on. I just want to check up real quick. How much has like
like,
GTA 5 even earned them?
oh my god.
GTA 5.
Like, don't get like even if they were to move the game over to the newer platforms, right? I feel like they wouldn't even actually add anything to it or try to fix any of the bugs that the game has because it has a lot of them. So,
Holy. So it says here in 2020, GTA 5 generated about $1 billion in revenue.
wow.
That's insane, dude.
Listen,
Like,
as long as it's making billions, hell.
well, it's like
Make it a remaster,
it's like one of those
HD,
things. Just like
HD edition.
everyone's talking about like, oh, it's the GTA 6 when GTA 6 coming out. It's just like, guys, they're in no rush. Like they're still
Yeah.
making bank off of GTA 5. Although I will say this much, even though they are re-releasing it, again, we're gonna have to pay another $60 for the current. Honestly, I ain't buying the I ain't buying the new port unless my buddy does, because I don't feel like it's worth paying another $60 just for, again, an HD upgraded version. But I will say this: they do. I think they have said that they were planning to add more features to the next gen iterations. So
Yeah. I don't know. I think they need to just move forward and let the old GTAs die. Let them be. If somebody wants them that badly, hell, release a trilogy of the GTAs and sell it for
tell that to the shark.
$80,
Tell that to the shark card sales.
dude.
which
Like,
I will admit I'm actually guilty of buying once.
I mean, same. We all have at least once, but you know what? They just need to let them die, move forward, because the old games, they unfortunately, you can't. They're for nostalgia reasons at this point. They're not
Yeah.
for actual like anything new you're gonna get out of them. Because let's be real,
Well, it's
a
like,
lot of the stuff that was done on those games, you kind of see almost on every single game now.
well, it's like that's. You mean in terms of like features and what they do or whatever, or?
Yeah, no, just features in general. There's nothing new in that game that you don't do in, for example, the newest GTA or in different games.
Yeah. And that actually is going to lead into our next topic of GTA 6. So, GTA 6 is rumored to be coming out supposedly in 2025. And this next part I can actually believe. It's rumored to have a Fortnite style map in which the map will evolve over time.
This would be something really huge if it was live updating. Like, let's say if they were to use an actual map of a city. right?
You realize if they do this, we're never getting another GTA, and that's like goddamn fact.
I don't know. I would not say that. Like, or at least we would not be getting one for the
20
next
years.
like 5-6 years.
20 years. I'm going
I
20.
probably. But if they do this, like where they actually make a like Fortnite style map where they evolves, I want to say that they should take it in the direction of make it so that you like make it an actual city in the world where you can actually evolve it every couple of years so that you don't have to like you don't have to create too much inside of the buildings themselves because essentially
I
Google
mean, I
Maps
don't,
gives
I
you
don't think
all
they're
the
going to be
images.
creating too much of building interiors. Like, I don't think they're going to be modeling like every single building interior.
I mean, isn't GTA 5 you can go inside of buildings and you essentially
Well,
like
that's for like missions and whatnot. But you can't go inside necessarily every single building. Like that,
oh
it's just not
okay
physically
that's
possible.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, if like it's one of those where it's like if they were to be like, oh hey, because like like with like Fortnite and Apex, how they destroy areas and just have them like rebuilt into something new. Like if they did that or whatever and just had like in-game events, which I kind of wish Apex kind of did, but if they just had if they had in-game events, I honestly that would be a major cool thing. Like if they did that, took that from Fortnite.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, Apex does do like kind of like small in-game events, but they're like massive. Obviously, like if you're gonna compare it to something like Fortnite, like no,
The
they're not
Galactus
gonna do
event.
something like that because that takes a lot of resources and a lot of money and time, which most people don't have.
I mean, unless you're Epic Games and you have billions of dollars at your disposal.
Yeah, true. Um,
Also,
but
this is Rockstar. I'm pretty sure they have just about as much money as Epic Games. So it's like I'm pretty sure they would be able to put in the manpower. But that even with that said though, God, just imagine the amount of crunch. Because I don't know if you've heard in the past, but the crunch at Epic Games, just like from what it was rumored, has been like very very bad.
mm, I heard anything about that, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, like just so much crunch time apparently. Like I think it was like 80-hour work weeks. Don't quote me on that one though.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I mean compared to what I've heard about Red Dead Online, where it was just like 110-hour work weeks. Oof.
Wow.
I mean, I will
But
say this about Rockstar real quick though. They put a lot of detail in their games. They have a lot of attention to detail.
yeah, no, it 100%. That's why their games don't they don't release games that often, and it shows, but they're worth waiting. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. Like I want to say the Rockstar has not released a game that does not give you an experience. Like going back to like obviously the first game that I played that was a Rockstar game was obviously GTA, that it was an experience, and then going to Red Dead Redemption, that was also another experience. Which it, but like they're so far away from each other that I wasn't mad that I had to wait for another Rockstar game. Like they were worth waiting. They were good games, and I had no issue spending the $60. And the best part about most of the Rockstar games, actually all of the Rockstar games, is that they always added some level of multiplayer that was satisfying. Up
I
to
mean nowadays though, like multiplayer is just a standard across most games. So
yeah, but they don't do like your standard like oh you can just go shoot each other, haha, like have fun. No, they just do free roam and be like, make the world what you want it to be. You wanna, like in Red Dead Redemption, do you wanna throw a stagecoach off of the side of a cliff with diamondite on it? Go right ahead. You wanna hold out in a fucking bar and literally max rank the law enforcement alert and see how long you can survive? Go right ahead. Nobody's gonna stop you.
you know, it'd be a hilarious thing for them to do.
Mm.
Although it would probably be the most dirty thing ever in terms of a developer move. Imagine if, like, say you have an apartment, right, in GTA 6 or whatever, And just like imagine, just like, oh hey, this area is gonna get destroyed. You better move out all your shit, otherwise you're gonna lose that apartment and all your money and cars.
Oh Lord.
It's like, oh hey, by the way, you have 1 month to do it. And then like
That'd be cool. No lie, that'd be
it
cool.
would, it
Like
would
you
be
can
one of
just
those.
buy the property and be like, okay, like nobody can destroy my shit. It's like no, people can.
Yeah, it's just like it's God that basically is gonna destroy it, and it's just like it would be one of those things where it's like if you didn't get out your shit in time, like yeah, it would suck, but at the same time, it would just be funny for like people who didn't keep up with the game as much and be like, "Yo, where's my shit?" And it's just like you really have not been paying attention to the banners, have you?
Yeah, I know.
um,
But
yeah,
but I
but
will say though, like so also with GTA because some people do grind it legitimately and others do kind of hack their stuff in.
you mean
So
how
it would
within like the first couple months of me playing GTA Online, someone hacked me like $1 billion?
yeah, and it's not that like don't get me wrong,
A
it's
bounty
not
has been
difficult.
placed on you for $1 billion. Did I get that
Yeah,
billion?
and it does like it part of me it does worry me that it's that easy to hack the game and give yourself all the money in the game. But it's also kind of like the hacking that happens in Rockstar games, um, it doesn't actually like impact the game itself that much, thankfully.
Yeah. All I know is that I want GTA 6 because I just kind of want a fresh start on GTA. Honestly, like I've gotten to the point, and even my buddy and I have gotten to the point where it's like we have a shit ton of money. Like I think I have still like over $20 million, on the online portion of the game because I don't, you know me, I don't play single player offline games. Um, and it's just like one of those things where like I have a shit ton of cars, I have a shit ton of multi-million-dollar expensive like military vehicles and stuff. It's just like what, I kind of want a fresh start. Like I want something to kind of like grind for that actually has value.
That's fair.
So, let's see. Oh, this is a good topic. Apex Legends. So I don't know if you've heard about it, although I have showed you the links for it. But over the 4th of July, Apex Legends got hacked with a message that said "SaveTitanfall.com." Like, and from what I've heard, all of PC got shut down for the entire day. Like, you could not play anything.
Yeah, so I did see this, and I was actually trying to play Apex like that this shit was happening. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny, but it's also worrying as to how much control these people actually have over Apex, and it kind of shows you how little, even though Apex has a lot of potential to be a top game, like
I think
competitive
honestly
wise.
in a lot of ways though it is very much a top game. I like because I the from what I've been hearing, the competitive scene it actually has been increasing, just like in terms of
Yeah,
viewership and playership.
no, but like the price pools, like for Apex right now compared to other games, it's a little bit of a joke. Like I think it's like 100, like 100 grand. I can't.
The Apex Championship was 2 million.
Was it 2 million?
Yeah, yeah, it was a 2 million
Have
prize
to
pool.
I'd have to recheck that because
But
I
but yeah, no. So have you heard about what's been going on the Titanfall front of like those hacks or no? Like have you heard about that?
no.
So basically, from what I've been looking up, and most of my information I've been getting from a YouTuber called Upper Echelon Gaming. For those of you who haven't heard of him or even watched him, I do recommend checking him out. Very, he's very good at covering gaming topics and whatnot. Just very good at covering things in general. Very articulate person. But he basically made a video about how the Titanfall game, it like you physically cannot play it because of the fact that it's apparently like overrun with a whole bunch of bots and whatnot. Like just you can't even uh, get to the main menu, I think, or something like that. Because it's just the servers are just overwhelmed by bots to the point where it's like they're just actual players can't even log in.
Oh wow.
And then with Titanfall 2, I believe, they're like anyone who, or for the most part, people have been trying to stream Titanfall 2. I don't know if it's one of those where if they get caught, they get blacklisted or something, but I've been hearing a lot about streamers who've been getting blacklisted just for streaming Titanfall 2, and they're no longer able to play the game, if memory serves correctly. Um,
Why is why could that be though? Like
yeah, no, and like EA and Respawn have been getting a lot of flack because it's like, oh hey, you guys are selling a game that you know is completely broken. Like you're selling it for like $5, saying like, oh, it's a great game, and like I've seen the clips of the reviews for Titanfall and I believe Titanfall 2 where people have said like this game cannot physically be played at all. Like it does not physically work like at all.
that, it's a real shame to hear, because like I'm fairly sure we both have tried Titanfall at one point or another.
Yeah. I
And
mean, consoles are right. It just seems to be mainly the PC community that's hit the hardest. And I do remember I bought Titanfall 2 a while ago. And I remember trying to matchmake for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I couldn't find a game. So I I I do wonder if like that was actually the reason for it.
like it is a shame that that's what's happening to the game, because it is a fun game to play, and it's a fun game to look at, because there's so much shit going on in your screen at all times that it gives you a futuristic battlefield
Yeah.
esque like feeling. Like if you could actually destroy buildings in that game, it would make it 100 times better, in my opinion. Like I think that the developers for Timefall should really get their shit together and get to fixing that game, because that game has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, from what I've been hearing, like this, like these issues have apparently been going on for about like a good, I think, 3 if not 4 years now, if not possibly longer. I don't think it's possibly longer, but it's been going on for about like at least 2 or 3 years. And people have said that like whenever they've gotten in contact with the actual people from Respawn, whenever the mention of Titanfall has been gotten brought up or whatever, like the original game, uh, the developer or whoever works at Respawn just like hangs up the call or just like terminates the connection because they apparently don't want to
Mm.
talk about it. Like I can't confirm that. Um, like I can't personally confirm that, but that's just rumors of which I've been hearing.
Oh,
Um,
yes. I still like I said, I think that they need to get their shit together, get that game working again, because it is fun. It is one of the only games that I can think of where you can actually just drop a mech out of the sky and just ride it and kill other
yeah,
people with it.
it's definitely a very unique game. Um,
Yes.
the one thing I will say that I find funny about the Apex Legends hack though is the fact that within mere hours the game got put back. Because I mean, here's the thing: the fact that someone was able to go in and actually physically change the game's code for everybody, that cannot be an easy thing to do, at all.
I don't know. Trust me,
Like,
dude. Nowadays, like, yes, it doesn't sound like it could be an easy thing, but I've seen like, just from where I work, I've seen so much other kinds of like fraud happen, and it is, people get around. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, no,
Like,
I definitely believe that. Because I mean, there's actually one of the things that I believe Upper Echelon Gaming actually had to say about it was that I think he even heard a rumor that supposedly there was someone who was on the inside who like knows about the internal infrastructure of the networking code and whatnot, who
mhm.
actually was the one doing this.
That I could 100% believe. Like,
Um, I,
but so here's the thing. So I do believe that, okay, if they don't want to go back and fix the games, the Timefall 1 or 2, fine. Release a new Timefall and actually make it functional. Because the game has,
they're not gonna do
like I
that
said,
though. Apex Legends makes them way too much money. That's honestly right now that's their
it,
golden goose.
But the thing about it is that it has potential to be a really good BR, like, or just a, just like another battlefield, a futuristic battlefield. It has potential, and it will make the money because the Timefall community that they're unfortunately losing, or have lost already, it was pretty decent chunk of people.
Yeah.
We're not talking like maybe 100K people. We're talking like almost like 400, 500K. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for a game that was semi non-functional, it is a decent chunk of people still sticking behind
Yeah.
it.
I've been actually playing Titanfall 2 on my console, just like even a few times within the last week, because I was just like, oh hey, it's like, you know what, like I've like just hearing so much about Titanfall and whatnot, like it made me, it, it reminded me that the game actually existed, and it's like I went back and it's like I forgot how much fun the actual just game was, just kind of like running around doing all the parkour movement, going into
Mm-hmm.
Titans, just ripping everything apart with Tone, his goddamn missile locks. But
Yep.
yeah, no, it's just one of those things where, and I know that a lot of people right now have a lot of complaints with like hackers and cheaters and ranked and whatnot, but um, right now
But that
because
would happen in any game. That's
yeah,
unfortunately unavoidable.
yeah, honestly, that's what I'm worried most about with Halo right now, because I'm curious to see how they do their anti-cheat system with that,
I
but
don't know. I think Halo has always been really on top of that kind of stuff.
I mean it's
The only
Microsoft,
thing
trillion
they
dollar company.
yeah, yeah, like the only thing that they need to, obviously, the only thing that they need to worry about is making sure that the game is smooth and it runs fine,
Yeah.
or it runs great for everybody. That's all they need to do for the game to be successful, because it already has the hype behind it. It already's got the infrastructure for it. It just needs to actually run.
So, moving on to Nintendo, unless you have anything more to say about the whole Apex Legends bit. So, moving on to Nintendo, apparently they added the Despicable Me producer to their board of directors.
I was actually reading the news on this, and I think this is very smart of them to do, because, like, you have seen um how much merchandise, or like how much stuff there is of Despicable Me everywhere.
Well, it's also one of those
Like,
things where it's like, from what I read, if memory serves correctly, they're looking to try and make a CGI Mario movie.
and you know what? They picked. I want to say they have picked the best person and the best company
Yeah, no,
to
I
get
agree.
this
I agree.
behind, because I don't think I can think of a bad Despicable Me movie. Unfortunately, I've seen them all because I have younger nieces. Kill me, but um, I don't think there's a bad one. I think
No,
they all are good.
it's
In
all
their
it's really just enjoyable. It's just like it's one of those
Yeah,
things where it's like you can't get like it's not boring. It's just like it's just guilty pleasure, honestly.
yeah. It's literally just guilty pleasure. Like, oh hey, there's these creatures that can talk. That you want to fucking hear them talk, cause holy shit, they're hilarious to hear. And they're
Ah,
just they're literally just everything you want to do mentally. Hell, they probably done it. Like, and that's the charm. That's what's so charming about it, and that's what's so rememberable. And that's why I think that if they do end up pushing this Super Mario movie out, I think it'll be a great success. Unlike, we don't talk about the cursed Super Mario movie that was released years ago. Because holy smoke,
you remember the old Zelda cartoon?
we don't talk about that either.
Yeah, I
We
know.
just let it die
Unfortunately,
in
Nintendo they do not have a good track record of film or
of
TV
CGI movies in general.
just anything that relates to like film. They don't have a good
Yeah,
track
no,
record with. But
no.
I have to say though,
Stick
I'm
to
actually,
cutscenes. You guys are fine there.
yeah, but I definitely am curious to see what they would even do for a Mario movie though. Like I really am very curious.
I
Um,
don't think they're gonna make it like
like the games at
I
all,
don't huh?
like the games at all, like how it is, like that they
No,
did
I
the
think
games.
they're gonna follow the story for the game, like some of the game, like the main story. Princess Peach gets captured. Mario and Luigi go to save her. They go through all these trials, and they eventually save her, and that's great. You know what? That makes for a great kids movie. I don't think they'll make it PG-13 unless Mario ends up. Obviously, Mario always ends up getting kissed by the princess. So okay, they'll make it PG-13 maybe.
Censors the kiss scene.
Yeah, but I do think that it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good movie to see,
No,
even if
you
you're a
wanna
young
know-
kid or if you're an adult.
Yeah. You want to know what kind of Nintendo movie I would love to see?
Mm-hmm.
A Luigi's Mansion style movie.
Dude, get behind this Nintendo. Are you listening to this? Dude, that shit needs to happen. I would love a fucking horror like Luigi's Mansion movie. Like, get behind that. Like, actually make it terrifying. Don't make it like goofy like the actual game. Cause don't get me wrong, I love the game.
Yeah.
But like, give me like a real horror Luigi's Mansion movie. Cause I would 100% watch that. That sounds amazing.
that
Even
would
though,
be-
but it's
that would be
Nintendo and
Blu-ray
everything's
worthy.
family friendly, so
Yeah, that would be Blu-ray. And
Yeah.
but you know what? Not that this would ever happen. Could you imagine a Smash Brothers movie?
I don't think it would ever happen. Unfortunately, no.
Tell them-
I
tell
can't.
them-
Actually, unfortunately, I can't imagine it because Smash doesn't have an actual story. And
I mean, did you not look at Smash Brothers Brawl, the Subspace Emissary?
that is not a story. That's literally just a very long adventure that you are going literally in through dimension to dimension to dimension. You're essentially in the Matrix. You're literally, I stepped through a door, I'm
The
in
Matrix
another
was a
place.
story.
But it's like, it's not a sustainable story. Because when you're thinking of a story, you want to have potential for other movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I mean, they could just do what Justice League tried to do, but just do it like 100 times better.
I think Justice League movie wasn't that bad.
No, I'm saying because like what they wanted to do, basically what they were doing with Justice League was that it's like, oh hey, just have like all the characters, and then we could just have spin-offs for all of them, like afterwards.
I mean, yeah, that's what. Well, I think Marvel did that too, but they did it in reverse.
Yeah.
They released all the individual stories first, and then they released the big one.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, sitting in the movie theater for 3 hours is kind of, it's kind of a
Hey
lot.
man, I'm holding it in. I don't care if I have these.
Hey, held that in too like a trooper. I did not went for the bathroom. I stayed there for 3 hours, and I can reassure you, when I got out, that piss was glorious.
Man, you blink, you miss the snap. Spoilers.
Oh god. No, but yeah, I do think that for them getting the Despicable Me, like as producer, I think it was very smart. I am very low key hyped to see what they do, movie wise. But Nintendo got the budget.
Watch us get like a Sonic type of animated person.
You know what? I wasn't even mad with the Sonic movie. The Sonic
I'm
movie
talking.
was
No,
not
I'm
horrible.
talking about the original model.
Oh,
of
never
it.
mind. That shit cursed.
Yeah, it's like, oh sweet, we're getting a Super Mario like movie, right? And then it's just like 3 years later down the line, it's just like they show Mario, and it's just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Like, did we not learn from the Sonic movie?
more of a Sonic movie. But yeah,
God, just imagine.
no,
what
I'm
Tails
very
would
happy
look
to see
like.
what they do with this. I'm not gonna keep my eye out for whatever they release movie wise.
Yeah, same. And continuing on with Nintendo, and speaking of Nintendo, have you heard about the new Nintendo Switch OLED model?
Yes, I've read on this. I've seen the news. I am not excited for it
Same.
because literally Valve is doing the same thing but better.
Yeah,
'Cause-
we're gonna be getting to that towards the end of this.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
like I read this and I'm like, oh, this is neat. You know what? I kind of wish this was released with the actual, Switch. But
Hey man, you gotta make more of that money. You gotta milk your hardcore fan base.
like, like I want to say that there should be at a certain point where the company looks at a product and they tell themselves, you know what should be standard standard in this device, right? Okay, you know what? On internet capability, sure. Being able to control the brightness, sure. Being able to control the isn't this like changing the lighting or something on the
No,
actual
it
Switch
basically, I
itself?
think it's just mainly giving you a bigger screen. I think that's the entire draw of it. It just gives you like a 2-inch bigure screen.
Why?
I think that's literally all there is to
Like,
it.
what the hell? It's like why? This is just gonna be this the screen that they put on the Nintendo Wii U that big? Cause that's a chunker. Like we're literally getting the Nintendo Wii U skinny version. That's literally what it
Yeah.
is. I'm not a
Let's see.
fan.
It says
Unfortunately, I'm not a
here,
fan of
meet
it.
the newest entry to the Nintendo Switch family. OLED model brings versatility to Nintendo Switch experience. Vibrant 7-inch OLED screen, a wide adjustable stand, and more.
Vibrant 7-incher. Hmm.
So basically, it's just
uh,
it's just like a better. It honestly, what translation is that it's basically what the original Switch should have been, base model
yes.
wise.
This is yeah.
And like
Unfortunately.
it's one of those. If this were several years ago, I might have gone for it just because like it's like, oh hey, new updated console. I'm already Microsoft's fanboy, so I don't do that really with anybody else.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it was one of those where like I was even thinking like if they came out with a Pro model, like even then like maybe I would go for it. But as it stands, I don't play my Switch all that much. Like I can't even remember the last time I turned it on.
Dude, I played my Switch twice ever because I bought it for Smash and I've only touched it twice.
I have.
Like, don't get me wrong, if this model was released, when the Switch was starting to come out
Mhm.
and they just made it more expensive, like, don't get me wrong, you get the standard, you get the premium, and then you have this. I would have been 100% fine with buying this, obviously for a bigger screen.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't want a bigger screen? Like in general, like you want to see more. You don't want to be looking through a phone-sized screen. I'm not saying that it is actually phone-sized, but
I mean,
you
I
get
do
what I
cloud
mean.
gaming sometimes with my phone when I'm at my cousin's house. So.
Yeah. So, like, I would have 100% back then. I would have 100% bought it if that's how they were gotten released. But it didn't. It instead got
Yeah.
released now when, unfortunately, Valve is doing the same thing, but they're doing it better.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to Valve in a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's one of those and like don't get me wrong, I do love Nintendo and like I even though I haven't touched the Switch all that much, I do love it. I think me personally, I have just gotten to a point where I think I have just kind of outgrown Nintendo a bit. Like I still love their games, I love the concepts that they do, but it's just like I've gotten addicted to FPSs and it's to a point where like I'm even now concerned about how much I'm addicted to first person shooters. But it's one of those. Back when I first got the Switch, I remember like Mario Odyssey. I was pretty addicted to. Um, Smash Bros. Like I enjoyed. It's weird. It's even with Smash Brothers. It's just like I think I have just barely more time on Smash Ultimate than I do on Smash 4 for the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I have I think about maybe 8 or 10 Switch games. Some of them like I think there's actually one which I haven't even taken out of the plastic wrap yet, just because it's just like, eh, like not. And it's one of
Like,
those. It's not that I don't want to play it, but it's just like I just don't care to right now. So it's just like there's no point. Like the only reason I think I would ever upgrade from my current Switch is if they had a Pro model, but even still.
the only games that I ever bought for my and now this we're not talking about Nintendo Switch anymore. I'm talking about Wii U. The only games that I ever bought for that thing was literally
Mario Kart
Smash
8.
4. Not Mario Kart 8, no, I didn't want that shit. I bought the newest Bayonetta and the
Bayonetta.
newest Ninja Gaiden. Literally the only 3 games that I've ever bought for that thing, and I actually played them and enjoyed them.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I also have just 3 games for the Wii U, and then it's just like, all right, well, this thing is just collecting up dust. I'm just gonna put it back in the box, basically mint condition, because I think I had like less than 100 hours on it.
I I probably have maybe a little bit more than 100 hours. That's about it, and that's only because Ninja Gaiden's a hard game to beat. Kill me. But
Try Dark
um
Souls.
ah, I'm a fan of Dark Souls. But yeah, no. So eh, I I'm not a fan of this. It could have been released sooner than
Yeah,
now. I don't think right now is the best time for this.
all those
Um,
leaks of the pro
and
model for this. I feel
low
so
key, it does
disappointed.
worry me a little bit that maybe are they running out of ideas that they have to, as awful as it sounds, that they have to stoop so low to release this. Like this is not revolutionary.
I
This is
mean,
not
I don't
doing anything
necessarily.
amazing.
I don't necessarily think so, because when you think back to, if anything, this could just be seen as either one, as them just trying to milk their customer base a bit more, or you could almost see this, I guess, as like a mid-gen upgrade, because I remember it was like back in 2018 or something like that, or maybe even 2019.
Mhm.
Microsoft, like, they did release the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, and they're both much better units compared to the base uh, Xbox One, and even Sony, they released the PS4 Pro. So I don't even think it's so much of them running out of ideas as much as it is like, hey, we just want to get a better version of this product out. Because I mean, if you remember back when the Xbox 360, that generation was still the main generation or the current generation, they also did like the 360 Slim, and the PS3 had the PS3 Slim. So
That's fair. I don't know. I still stick by what I said, where I don't think this was the right time, or was it necessary?
I don't think it was worth the hype, especially with all the leaks.
That's the other thing too. Yeah.
Give him a Pro. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, out of curiosity, when was the last time you played Assassin's Creed?
I have
Like, what was the
played
last game you played?
the last game that I legitimately played was the one where he was in Egypt.
I forget. I don't.
It's
Which
like
one?
two release. It's like
No,
two
I
releases
just
before.
I don't even know the name of it. That's how much I've kept
I
up with
don't
it.
have the box near me because it's away in my drawer of goodness.
It's like
But
Assassin's Creed Origins or something like that. I think maybe.
it's the one where whichever one is in Egypt, and they made it kind of like an RPG esque, where you don't like just upgrade like your weapon. You upgrade essentially everything about yourself. It was the first game that did that. It was the first Assassin's Creed that did that. That's the
It's
first game that I played.
the hell.
The last game, excuse me. The last Assassin's Creed that I played.
It might.
I think
be...
it might be.
Oh,
Origins.
Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey. Yeah. That
Yeah. I got the O part right. It just wasn't Origins. But so yeah, no, I think the last Assassin's Creed game I played was, well, no, the last one I played was the original, but the last newest game I got, I think, was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, just because it was for games with gold. But yeah, no. So the reason I say that is because we have a new Assassin's Creed game Assassin's Creed game coming up called, I believe, Assassin's Creed Infinite.
Infinity.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is supposed to be also a live service game.
So,
I
is
believe it's
this
supposed to be
one?
live service? As I just like check.
No.
Fort
I-
Fortnite GTA Online. It's like supposedly Fortnite style, I think, where it's just like it's gonna be live updates and whatnot, where they're gonna put in
I thought.
like
I
historical
thought
events.
I thought this was gonna be the one where they release all the all the previous Assassin's Creeds together. I
Um,
might be wrong. Let me see. Like, that's what I thought. That's what this was going to be. Assassin's Creed.
Rather than continuing to pass the baton from game to game, we profoundly believe this is an opportunity for Cloud Manor. Yeah, no, it just says a Fortnite-like evolving platform. So,
I I don't know how to feel about it because there's not enough. There's not enough
yeah.
um information about this.
I'm just wondering though if they're
Um,
gonna make it like free to play, because if it's like Fortnite, I mean Fortnite style. Well, then again, like I don't think GTA 6, if that's gonna also be like live updates and whatnot, I don't necessarily think that's gonna be free to play. But
oh no, definitely not.
yeah,
But I do think so. If they were to release Assassin's Creed Infinity and try to make it kind of like with live updating and everything, I if they do release this, I hope that they bring back the multiplayer that it used to have, because I think that style of quote unquote search and destroy was really fun. It was very it was different
yeah.
because you needed to do it stealthily. Obviously, you get more points for doing it stealthily and trying not to get caught by other people, who are looking for you.
I just remember just trying to assassinate people, like just other players, and I would just accidentally keep on assassinating civilians. It's just like, oh, you're desynchronizing. I'm like, then actually aim onto my target. Like, god damn it! Blame
Yeah,
your own
no.
damn system. It's not my
Yep.
fault your aim sucks.
Yeah, no. I personally did enjoy
Oh,
the
look, I
game.
accidentally ran up a wall that I didn't mean to. Great. Way to go, Ubisoft.
Yeah. No,
Completely smooth.
I personally did enjoy the stealth version very much because it was different. It was you had to think, unlike other games where you just put like, oh, let me put on the penetration bullets and then I shoot everything.
Hacks.
But yeah.
Um,
But it was fun. I
yeah.
think I
I,
hope
I'm
they re-release that at some point.
I am somewhat looking forward to the concept of this, if only because of the fact that it really has been a hot while since I last played Assassin's Creed, and I think it's just like Assassin's Creed. There was a few reasons I got turned away from the franchise. Honestly, one was the fact that
Mhm.
it kept releasing so many games. I was just like, this just is now feeling like Call of Duty. And it's just like, is there even like a coherent story? Because um, the last main game I really got into was Assassin's Creed 3, and I mainly just did that because of the whole Desmond Miles story. Because I thought it was like, oh hey, we're going through all these past events because there's going to be kind of like a revelation slash final battle at some point in the present. And like when there wasn't that, I was just like, okay, well, it's like, what's the end game for these? Like because it genuinely felt like, at least from my perspective, that they were building up to something, but it felt like it just nothing ever happened. So I was just like, why am I caring about these characters? You know?
I mean, it did have like I don't know. I personally did think that it had a good ending. The first Assassin's Creed games, after the whole they got through with Desmond, because it was I didn't see it going in that direction where spoiler alert, he ends up stabbing the potential love interest, and
They lose more
then
girlfriends that way.
then he has to like then he like tries to revive her with the apple of Eden or some. It's been a minute since I played the last one,
Yeah,
that
I
where
can't
it was
remember
with
the last time
Desmond.
I
But
played
then
that.
he fails and then he dies himself because he can't control the power or whatever.
Yeah, but it's I think it's definitely one of those where if this is gonna be the kind of style they roll with for a while, I definitely might pick it up because it's one of those when there was just like no breathing room between games. It's just like, why am I gonna pay money to get into a store when it's like they're just gonna release a new one next year? I mean, that's basically why I just stepped out of Call of Duty. It was just too much. There's no breathing room, you know.
I feel that.
But if Assassin's Creed Infinity is a game that is gonna stick around for a while. Which, by the sounds of it, that's kind of what they want. I actually might try picking it back up again. So,
Hmm.
um, let's see. Assassin's Creed Infinity. So, I'm curious. How many people do you sus typically? Who seems sus?
Everybody, everybody in the world, man. Everybody's sus. Nobody get close to me. All of you.
I don't know about you, but I think the Among Us Collector's Editions for consoles seems pretty sus.
This thing is awful, man. There's not enough content for them to be releasing a collector's edition.
I mean,
Like,
it's one of those. I think honestly, the community has just given it more content. Like I think I honestly enjoy the community's content more than the game itself at this point. Like the community really has just carried it and made it its own. Honestly, you know.
yeah, I still don't. Like, don't get me wrong. Console players should get a chance to play. Yes, everybody should get a chance to murder their friends in game, um,
Caesar did
and
it,
laugh about it.
but
Uh,
it,
but I don't
I
think
don't think it's
Among
worth the
Us.
collectors. I don't think it's worth the collectors, honestly.
No, I don't think the game itself right now has enough content to
No.
be considered having a collector's edition.
And it's like it's one of those where if you're playing with a whole bunch of people who you can kind of goof around with, and it's like yeah, you can get several hours of gameplay, but if you're playing by yourself, like even I have to say, I get bored very quickly because it's like you don't know how other players are really gonna play. You don't know if they're gonna try getting other people out, and it's one of those where if when you play with your friends. It's a better time because you know them, and it's just like it just creates for a more interesting dynamic as opposed to people who you don't really know, you know.
Exactly. Like the Among Us Collector Edition is literally just a bunch of skins, one extra map, and I think that's it.
I mean, no, they,
Wow.
like they have plushies. I think they have like plushies. They have maps. I think one of them has the alert button, but it's like
What
one
a,
of the yeah, no, like one of them had like the alert button. I think.
okay, I can go to Staples and get myself a button there. And
Like
I
hold
can
on.
go on Etsy and get myself an Among Us plushie
Yeah,
for
because
less
like
than this.
the ejected edition, and I think my buddy Joker he actually got the ejected edition.
Oh
Guy,
lord.
his don't even get me started on his poor wallet. His wallet needs a restraining order against him. But it's like the collection, the ejected edition comes with downloadable PC phone wallpapers, which honestly, you could probably knowing people, they're just gonna put them on the internet for other people to download.
Yes, like
Like I don't get the point of that.
it's so. I think this is not a good collector's edition
Nah.
in general.
Crewmate fleece blanket, which okay, uh, yeah sure. One of
No.
12 special Mira HQ holographic access cards. One of 12. So what? Are you telling me I have to like buy like 12 of these editions to collect all the cards? The fuck?
What the?
It says one of 12. Like
I don't know. This. I don't. I.
red imposter beanie. I mean, cool. I could probably find the same thing custom somewhere else.
In Hot
Like,
Topic.
yeah, like I'm not even doing this to like rip on these guys or anything, but it's just like just content in the game. And it's just like again wallpapers. Like they're just gonna probably be put on the internet anyway. But
Yeah.
then purple crewmate with crown plush, retail exclusive steel book. I mean, I think everything.
Like, don't get me
is now
wrong.
just steel book.
I want to say that maybe this is because behind the hype that Among Us had like a couple of months back, it was really huge.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of following, especially in like the streaming communities, YouTube. You know, everybody was playing Among Us.
It was something you could really play with a lot of your friends, and it's like there was just
Yes,
a
but
lot.
then I also want to say that maybe like because of all these big YouTubers and all these big Twitch streamers have moved away from the game,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is this company's way of trying to make as much money as possible before the game just dies. No, it's not gonna die completely. Don't get me wrong, because it is on mobile, it is on now console, it is on PC.
Well,
It has
it's coming. It's
accessibility.
coming console. It's not on console yet.
It's coming. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. You get the idea.
Same with Fall Guys
Like,
eventually.
The game is not gonna die completely because it is still fun once in a while to play as a party game.
Yeah.
So, but it's not gonna have the same following that it did a couple months back. And I found to say this is the way of these companies of being like, you know what? Let's see how much you can get out of them before a game gets to a point where it's no
You know,
longer
I could see that.
have the same profit margin that we had before.
I think more than anything else, they definitely need more game modes, as well as definitely more maps. I think that's definitely where it's lacking more than anything else.
I think they should take a page from the modding community and just add extra rules to that game.
Yeah, that would help. Let's see. Hold on. We gotta finish this ejected collector's edition. Imposter syndrome sticker sheet. Spinning into space enamel pin. Who the hell?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they apparently have an enamel pin of like one
What the
crew member spinning in space.
What is that?
Spinning in like when you get ejected or whatever. and
No,
you
no,
see
no,
the-
no, no. What the fuck is an enamel?
Oh, an enamel pin. Oh, it's like a pin that you just like stick to your shirt, like like a name tag badge. I guess you could say.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's basically like one of those. And then okay, this is probably the only thing I like from this besides the plushie. The crewmate versus imposter lanyard.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, like to me that's cool.
Yeah, but it's
like
not worth
otherwise,
the price.
yeah. And again, they had like 3 separate damn editions.
Brother.
Okay, this is a good one. So I believe you said back in 2019 that you used to have a Nintendo 64.
Yes.
The amount of pain in his voice. So, did you ever play Super Mario 64?
Yes.
Would you believe me if I told you that a sealed Mario 64 copied sold for $1.5 million?
Yes.
It's like I get it, but damn.
Dude, don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen there's Pokemon cards that go for thousands of dollars.
300, dude. I've told my sister this was literally within like the last month or something that there's a card which apparently sold some years ago for like $300,000, and she was just like, "What the f?" And I'm like, "Yeah, people like their Pokemon."
Yeah, hell. I know that there is some really die-hard fans, collectors, that literally get everything Nintendo. But 1.5 mil for a cartridge that's still in the box, mint condition? Brother.
I want to know who the hell had that kind of money. That's what I want to know more than anything else.
Holy
like,
smokes, man.
It's one of those things, and it's funny because like going back to what we were saying about Pokemon cards, I actually recently bought a couple cards. Like I bought like a Zera Ore card for like I think $4 or whatever, and then a Lucario Japanese card for like 20. Thank God for free shipping. But it's like it's one of those. I can to an extent I can see why people are paying so much money for these, and it's because of the fact that these aren't really available for digital download. I mean, yeah, you had the whole Mario All-Stars collection, but it wasn't. It's just not the same as having that physical copy, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not the same as you having an actual cartridge that you can blow on the back of it to get it to work.
Basically, just the game version of CPR.
Essentially, this is how you learn CPR. Blow into a cartridge and hopefully it works. Oh, it's running. Great, you saved it. But I do think that it's 1.5 mil. It is a lot. It's excessive amount of money.
It's funny though, cause like, it's like while part of me is like wanting to say like goddamn. There's also another part of me saying like I can't really see that being a waste of money too much. Like, and I think that's honestly just a testament to just how much I respect that game.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like if there, like I know that there was another cartridge for the original Nintendo Zelda that sold for not 1.5 mil, but really high up as well. Um, I would get it myself if I had that kind of money.
Yeah.
Because it is an item you can display in your home and be like, I played this game really long time ago. Don't ask how much I paid for this.
Well, it's all,
But
yeah, it's also one of those things, and it's like I believe I've told you before that I've been trying to get the old Halo games, just like new and sealed, just because I want to kind of preserve that era as much as possible, and it's one of those like all these games which are being saved right now. I don't know if you could really have that same kind of effect and have those games maintain that same kind of value with the games that are released today, just because of the fact that they're also available for digital download. Because like what made these games so special back then was the fact that you couldn't. There was only a set limit amount of them, and they're not even available for digital download. Like I remember seeing some years ago. By some I mean like 2014 or 2015. Like seeing how a new copy of Smash Brothers Melee or whatever, like if people sold it on eBay, it would easily go for like $200.
oh yeah, like if you went to GameStop back when it was still around,
I'll
it
give
was
you 30
literally
cents.
six. It was six. You would get 30 cents, but it was selling for $60. Like it was like it is a AAA title, but holy smokes!
But it's just like it's one of those things where I do think that I think going up to what generation I doubt you'd know this, but do you know what generation the 360 and PS3 generation were?
No,
Let's see.
I would assume third gen.
No, it was probably more like closer to 7th or 8th gen.
Oh, you mean
What?
as in like console wise in
Yeah,
general?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're probably
What
right. I think eighth.
generation
But
was?
don't get like I want to say that the biggest thing that makes this collector like don't get me wrong, you can play this with an emulator in your computer. That is not an issue. You can you can Nintendo maybe one day in the future will release it on the Nintendo Switch or some console in the future and make it Super Mario 64 HD. Holy shit! Could you imagine that?
I
The big
I
collector value of this item of the cartridge itself is that you're not gonna get the same um bugs or mechanics that the game was intentionally released with when it first came out.
yeah.
Like things will get patched to make it quote unquote
Actually, from what I
better.
heard, they didn't actually patch a lot of the things in the All Stars game. From what I heard, like
Like
there's still
they did do fix some things,
yeah,
but
like
it's not
they
like the
fixed like
original
they fixed like
thing
the
that came
backwards
out.
jump glitch where it's like you could basically just like light speed your way up to the staircase to the Bowser boss fight in Mario
Yeah,
64. But
but you're not gonna get that unless you play the original
yeah,
cartridge.
and I mean
So
it's one of those I dude I need to try and get that original cartridge. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it new, but I bought it, dude. Oh my god, I'm so salty. I think it was like last year or something. I bought the N64 used on eBay,
mhm.
right? I bought it for like 270, and then I was looking at sealed Nintendo 64s this year, and I found a brand new one for 240.
Wow.
I've never been so mad in my life. But
I mean,
it's one of those things where it's like I do think nostalgia also has a massive part to play in it, because I've even been looking at old Pokemon Nintendo game, well, old Pokemon games from Nintendo on eBay, like sealed copies, and like their like Pokemon Gold version for Game Boy Color, like I've seen prices of that go from like $500 to like 5,000, I think.
oh, 100%. Like that cartridge is not obviously it's not made anymore. It is
Well,
a
it's not
very
even just the
high.
cartridge. Like I'm also trying to get like the box as well, because
Yeah, no, but that's the thing.
stupid
You're not,
childhood me never kept the box.
you trying to get that thing not opened with the original box, you're talking like less than a 5% chance And if you do find it, it's probably being run for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because that thing is a collector's item and it is very, very rare. That item is not going to be made anymore.
Yeah. I genuinely I'm at the point where like I genuinely do hope that um anyone who does buy these, I really hope they never open them, and I hope they are but just buying them for the
Oh,
sake
yeah.
of collecting and just
Oh,
preservation.
100%. I want to say anybody who spends $1.5 million, I damn sure they probably have a shelf or a glass case that's illuminated, like something that's literally displaying this item in their fucking house.
You know,
That has like
it,
15 butlers and like 10 rooms, 15 bathrooms, and maybe 2
yeah,
pools.
because I know that people do the same thing with the consoles. Like I remember last year when I was looking for my N64 or whatever, like I saw a brand new one for like $1,400, and I'm like, I love the N64, but I'm not paying $1,400 for this. And it was funny because when I got my Xbox Series X, part of me was tempted to try and buy another. Not that I actually could, but it was one of those. Oh hey, would this be worth something in about 20 years? And like when I thought of it, I was just like, honestly, probably not. Because just
Mm,
the way things are going, honestly, right now, it's not the value for um like what these consoles are kind of turning into. They can just honestly easily be replaced. You know, like
Yeah, but
it's not like the GameCube or the Wii or the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 that had a completely different interface and just
like, don't get me wrong. With enough time, that thing does become a collector's item. So it will have value, but we're talking
tell that to the
like
Xbox One.
40, 50 plus years in the future.
Tell that to the Xbox One, which I can't even find a new sealed copy on eBay for shit.
Hell, I'll give you mine. Mine is in a fucking green bag inside of my closet, just chilling. It's still functional.
Wait, you actually have a original Xbox One?
Oh no, no, no! I thought you said Xbox 360. Never
Oh
mind.
no. Even Xbox 360, like I definitely see that holding value.
I think so too.
And like again, maybe it's because of the fact that like I hold nostalgia for it, but
Hmm.
again, it's one of those. It's from an old era where video games were very much different.
Yes,
So and like
definitely.
the fact that games are going to streaming nowadays, that's why I kind of feel like today's consoles right now, they're not going to be really worth as much. I could be very well wrong. Honestly, it's something I tell people where it's like, people always know things that just ain't always the case. For example, you won't have a calculator with every day. Remember that line? Um,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, no.
Fuck you, high
Honestly,
school teacher.
but yeah, no. Just that 1.5 million though. It's goddamn crazy.
Yeah,
Again, I want to know what that person goddamn works as.
dude. The next topic is I'm super excited, and I'm just giddy. Just keep looking at it.
So I just have to ask you: is this a complete ripoff of Super Smash Bros?
No, because technically Nickelodeon, I believe they did this first.
Really?
There was a PlayStation version of Nickelodeon's All Stars a long time ago. I'm fairly sure. I'm like 90% sure. The 10% I could be wrong. But I'm fairly sure that Nickelodeon did this first, and then they did not. It was one of those games that it was released ahead of its time. So it wasn't very popular, but it was fun as hell. Because I remember playing this back at one of my friends' houses like a long time ago. Um, and seeing this being brought back, it really excites me because I remember how much fun I had playing it back then. So I'm very excited for Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. Like it.
I saw a tweet today from someone saying that they would love to see a matchup between Nigel Thornberry and Helga from Halo.
Hell yes! And I'm really hoping that whoever is behind this Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl, I'm really hoping that they add DLC and they stay behind this title. Because I'm 100%
I want
getting
to
this.
know if they're gonna add like a kind of final smash to this
They
game.
do.
Oh,
They have.
Oh, they have.
Yes, they have them. They've seen the trailer. Have you not seen the trailer?
I mean, I've seen it a couple times, but like,
You kind of don't like break an orb. You kind of just build it up by hitting shit.
gotcha.
So, but it could change. You know, it was an early trailer. There's no gameplay
Yeah.
out yet, so it could change.
Yeah,
but
this is
back,
this is coming out for all consoles, or was it just?
it
PC
literally is
that
coming
they
out
said?
for everything.
Oh my god, this is.
It's coming out for the PlayStation.
Pummel
It's coming out for the
Party,
Xbox. Coming out for
but-
PC.
Pummel Party, but for Xbox, essentially.
Dude, for real, I would 100%. I'm 100% getting this when it comes out. I'm 100% playing it.
They better have
um,
crossplay.
It better have crossplay. That will be huge.
I just want to have a giant Patrick Star just gathering.
Like, I'm very excited for this game. I at 100% will. If there's they need an Indiegogo for it, I'll back it 100%.
Indiegogo.
They like. I'm very excited. That's all. That's my opinion on
Just
this.
like just imagine them go to Smash Ultimate Round, just like 80 characters. And honestly, because of the fact that there's so many Nickelodeon characters to choose, dude. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Dude, there is actually an Avatar map in the game right now in the trailer.
Oh my god.
So there is potential for Avatar to be in the game.
Korra.
Like,
The amount of choices that they have to even just choose from.
like, mark my words, this game has potential to be a competitor for Smash.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely ready to see it.
100%.
Like, I definitely ready to see it.
The company needs to get behind fucking pumping out the DLCs for all their fucking Nintendo characters for all their shows.
Yo,
Because I can 100%, no character will be too small for this game to not have in the game.
get Rudy from Chalk Zone.
Hell, yes.
Like I'm just trying to think of like who is a character who I've just not seen in a while. That
Like, give me
would
the
make
kids
me-
from Rocket Power.
Oh my god. Just
Like-
like. Oh my
Just
god.
like
suck.
give me the 3 kids and the girl and like maybe the chef dude that they would
No,
always
no,
go to.
forget the kids. Just bring in the goddamn chef. That's all you need from Rocket Power.
You know what? I'd be 100% on board with it. I wouldn't be mad.
just
And
like
in Smash, he brings the kids and the kids beat the shit out of the
just
person.
like just like imagine him with a goddamn spatula or whatever. It's like that's his primary weapon. He's just like he goes off against SpongeBob in the Fracture games.
Oh my god. I would 100% get that DLC and play the shit out of the character.
Oh my god.
But there's no I will say this right now, there's no character too small for this game. Hell, they
Question
could
is,
even
like would they even have a story mode?
I would think so. I would think they would go kind of like the route of how
Subspace
Uh,
Emissary was.
yeah, where there's like a mastermind who brings them all together into this world, and they need to defeat them to all go back to their own worlds, and blah blah blah.
Never go in that multiverse.
There is
universe.
there is in the original, the one that was released a long time ago, there was like a robot that they had to fight, and there was a small story. So I'm excited to see if they actually bring that back. Are they gonna make something new? I'm wondering if they will be willing to partner up with Cartoon Network.
Yeah, no, I was literally just thinking that. I was just like, dude, I was gonna wait for you to finish your sentence and then be like, yo, Cartoon Network needs to step up their game because just the amount of characters we could have, like Courage the
Yes.
Cowardly Dog, Scooby
Oh
Doo,
my god.
Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or even
Yes.
just like Mandy itself.
Mhm. They get me all those characters. Get to a Nickelodeon if you're listening to this. Please get
Star
to it.
Wars characters. Well, then again, they don't own the Star Wars characters, so I don't know how much that would work.
No, Star Wars is with Mouse Man. We don't fuck with him.
Thundercats, Symbionic Titan,
Yeah, like get me all those characters.
Generator X. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Like,
Just say
get me all those characters. That's all I'm saying.
number
It has
one.
it has a lot of
Codename Kids-
potential, and
Co-
I'm hoping they don't blow it.
Number one from Codename Kids Next Door.
Dude, that would actually be really cool though. That has some real potential for like actual like in-game mechanics and whatever.
Yeah. All right. Final topic for the episode. Steam Deck.
So I'm personally excited, and I'm also very disappointed in this
Really?
thing, because it is very powerful. It is a very smart thing for Valve to do because of how big Steam is. The only downside to this is that it does not have a lot of space in it.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
So the max version of this thing costs $650. It gets you 500 gigabytes of space. That we're talking, maybe that's like maybe that's maybe like 5 games.
So what you're telling me is not to install Call of Duty and Warzone on it.
No, no. If you're literally getting it for that, you are doing it wrong, man. Because holy smokes, like it has let me pull it up actually, because I like the features.
I've heard a lot of people calling it just like the portable Xbox, just because if you could.
It
Xbox
literally
Game Pass
is,
on it.
because you can run AAA titles on it, and supposedly it has very good graphics on it. It has a very long battery life. The resolution on it.
Did they say how
is-
long the battery life was, or?
I can pull it up in just a moment. Hold on. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm like actually pulling up the page
No,
right
no,
now.
yeah, you're good. Because I was actually, because I didn't think they talked about the battery life. But yeah, no, and it's like I like how everyone's saying like, oh, the Nintendo Switch has met its match. Like, could this be the end of the Switch? And I'm like, honestly, I don't necessarily think so, like at all, because it's one of those. Personally, I think the Steam Deck is cool in concept, but in reality, I actually wonder how many people are actually gonna like buy this, like, and use it.
Low key, I personally would get it. I would personally get it because I have so many games on my Steam library, and they're all games that I can't like. You get this thing if you're going to a family event that you don't want to go, but you're forced to go. So you take this with you, and you literally kill the 5-6 hours that you're gonna be there for.
Well, the funny thing is that's kind of like the only time I ever bring my Nintendo Switch. But the funny thing is, even though I bring my Nintendo Switch to like my cousin's house, right? Most of the time,
Mhm.
I just take a nap at my cousin's house and I just like sleep the entire time because it's just like, okay, I'm bored. And honestly, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
like
play my Switch for like 5-10
like
minutes anyway.
yeah, no, like don't get me wrong. Like I would do, um, I would bring this thing 100% because there's so many games that I wish I was in those situations. I wish I was playing, but I can't because I'm nowhere near my computer.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks.
But it's like
But
it's one of those where it's like that's kind of the thing where it's just like I figure, and like maybe I can only speak for myself on this, but if I'm gonna be gaming for a long period of time, I'm at a point in my life right now where I just don't think I would care to do it in a handheld. Like I would want it on a bigger screen where I'm able to kind of like just sit back in a chair, relax, and just kind of like stare at a big screen or even like a TV to play my games on for like extended
oh,
periods of time.
oh yeah, no, 100%. But we're talking about the reliability of being able to take this with you on like a vacation, or
I hope the
you
Wi-Fi's
know,
good.
or your house, your family's event, or you're going on a road trip, anything like that. You can take this with you because it downloads the game into your console. You don't need Wi-Fi
Oh,
to
okay,
get it
okay.
working. That's why there's the space. You download the game into this, and then you play it like you would like in a console. But instead, you have this.
So then the internal storage isn't honestly that much of an issue. Then it's just you're just gonna have to spend about like $500 on a
Yeah,
like terabyte
and
SSD.
yeah, essentially,
No problem, man.
if it allows you to put in your own SSD.
I think they said that the more expensive models actually allows you to put in um expanded memory,
If that's the case, then I would 100% get the most expensive one.
like the
Just
$700 one.
yes, solely because it does have some other exclusive things which are kind of nice. It does say that it has the fastest storage, so it downloads things faster and loads things faster. It has premium anti-glare edge glass, which essentially just means that if the sun is hitting the screen, if you're outside, it's not gonna bug you.
That's good.
It has quote unquote an exclusive carrying case, which kind of saves you the trip of having to get your own. Um, I don't care about the Steam Community Profile bundle, which whatever. Who the fuck gives a damn about their own profile in this?
I mean,
You literally just put up a
there's a
picture
market
and
for everything, right?
huh?
There's a market for everything, right?
True, fair. I mean, somebody gives a fuck about it. That's what they have it. And an exclusive virtual keyboard theme, which I don't give a fuck about either. But somebody gives a fuck about this as well because it's cosmetics.
I will say, the things I'm actually very impressed by with this, or what I'm impressed with in regards to this thing is the fact that it seems very versatile in the number of ways that you can use it, and that's actually what impresses me. The fact that um it's like touchscreen, but the fact that it has like the equivalent of like a mouse pad on it, and from like what I've heard from people who have used it, it's like it's not exactly like a mouse pad, but like for what it is, like it works pretty accurately.
That's good. And hell, they are from what I can read here on the website, it says that it's going to be shipping by December of 2021,
Oh
which is
no, I
perfect.
actually heard differently. I saw on Twitter that's like, oh, by the way, guys, for those of you who have ordered your Steam Deck, bad news. Reports say it may not be arriving until 2022.
That's okay. Then I don't know. The Steam page itself and the website say 2021, so I don't know. But if this is true, if it does get released by December, hell, this is an amazing gift for anybody who they use Steam, they have their computer.
I mean,
You
yeah, it would
they,
just cost
you wanna
you
you
like
actually
400
want
to $700, but I mean, you
yeah.
know,
I mean the
the
most
person
basic
the
one.
person would love you for the entire day.
Yeah, it's definitely a way for you to get your kids away from the computer and take them outside. Which, you know what?
In a sense.
I'm like, I'd rather them do this while being outside on the grass than being inside the entire day. Like, if I was a parent, I would buy it and give it to my kid and be like, okay, let's go outside. You can bring your Steam Deck. You can play whatever you want, but we're going outside.
I mean, I feel like at that point it would just be kind of redundant because regardless, they're just still like again, if it's one of those things where it's like if you're going to a family event or something, it's like you just need uh to give them something to keep them occupied for a few hours, so they're kind of just not bouncing all over the place and whatnot. Then it's like yeah, no, I could definitely see this, but I like it's kind of one of those I do and I mentioned this to a couple of friends of mine. Like I actually wonder what kind of audience this is basically going to be for.
I do believe because I do see that it also does have some HDMI ports, some USB ports. So I do think this is aimed towards all ages, low key, because it has the accessibility of a tablet, which little kids love their fucking tablets, and
And their iPhones.
and their iPhones and everything that we worked hard to figure out, but they can figure it out in 5 seconds.
I mean, I never
Yeah.
tried to figure out shit. It was just all idiot proof, which worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But like this is aimed for multiple 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 ages. Like it could be released for somebody like in our age where we can take a trip to a convention and the convention's over, we go back to the hotel rooms and we start playing a game on our Steam Deck until we fall asleep. And because it has an HDMI port at the bottom, from what I can see the pictures here, um, you could actually probably connect the screen to the TV that's in your hotel room and play it on a bigger screen.
So what you're basically telling me is that it could also be functioning almost like a Wii U gamepad.
Essentially, yes. But you don't need to bring the entire thing. You just bring a cable, two cables, because you need the charger.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those. Like I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not completely sold on it yet. But if it's one of those where I do like the fact that it looks like it can be used in a multitude of ways, which I do think is good because it does make it a lot more versatile. Like it's and as was one of those. And while as it works today, I was even thinking of this that if they can make it so that you could kind of not that this would necessarily happen, but like if you could uh like view like say the Xbox dashboard through like using this thing because like also like with Game Pass and whatnot, um, just the fact that it's like a portable Xbox, like I'll probably honestly then just start using it more than possibly even my Series X, honestly. Like, cause they did say that I think it has also the ability to run like Windows 10 on it. So
Like I said, I'm excited for this because it is what the Nintendo Switch OLED model
should have been.
should have become. He's doing everything the right way right now,
And they're
and
also innovating with it.
yes, and also they're very innovative with it. I do think that it does need a little bit more work. We need a little bit more details, obviously.
Yeah.
Like we don't know a lot of it. Unfortunately, I could not find the battery life because, like you mentioned, they have not talked about it. But for something as good looking as this, I would not expect it anything less than maybe an 8 hour to 10 hour battery life. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, they did say that like it was like very powerful. The fact that 720, but it could do like what 60 frames per second on it easily.
yes, yeah. So I'm actually expecting big things from this. Um,
Yeah.
right
Now,
now I'm not
I
100%
yeah
sold to reserving it, but if I find out more details, hell, I might buy myself an
yeah.
early Christmas present.
Now, I mean, I can't blame you for that one. But now you said before that this was probably intended for all ages. I don't know if that's necessarily the case because of the fact that Nintendo Switch. Part of the reason that Nintendo has always been so popular with families and children and whatnot. Well, okay, well I'd say more necessarily families and whatnot, parents. Is because of the fact that it's a lot more economically. It's a lot more economically friendly for consumers. And I don't necessarily see that so much with the Steam Deck. Like I see that more for adults, but even then, it's like I do wonder how many adults are actually going to buy this thing. I mean, don't
So
get me wrong, you're always going to have that hardcore base that will always just kind of like buy it. But I just don't kind of see like a lot of kids kind of like asking for this for like Christmas or something.
like I can understand that. Um, the big thing that you also are need to remember is that this thing plays both games, but it can also play movies.
It can play
Remember,
movies too.
Steam has movies. It has shows on it.
I actually never knew that.
You could actually there's not that many, but there's some around there that you can find.
Yeah, but it's like, why would you get it for movies and when you could just do like Netflix on your phone though?
I'm saying it is something. I'm comparing it more towards the Switch.
Ah,
This is
gotcha,
something that
gotcha.
it
Yeah,
can do different than that, where you don't have to get its own cartridge to get it working.
yeah. I think it's one of those where I think right now it is very much a high product though. It is very much a high product, but I don't know how l- well it's gonna last in terms of longevity to the Switch. Because like, yeah, it does definitely look like it can do potentially a whole lot more than Switch. But I think right now the Switch is just a very grounded system, and also Nintendo just has a reputation of putting out good products typically that I don't know how much is honestly gonna rival the Switch. If anything, I feel like it's gonna have. I don't want to necessarily say it's like gonna be like a fad or anything like that, but I feel like it's gonna kind of have like that surge of popularity, and then it's just you're not gonna hear about it for a good while.
I do think that I do believe differently because of I am a very big. I'm very big on PC gaming. I'm very big on Steam, and I want to say that any Steam has a very large community behind it.
Oh yeah, no, and
And,
I'm never gonna argue against that. But I'm
yeah,
just
and
talking about like because I'm just trying to look at it from a perspective like how many kids to young adults main Nintendo versus maining Steam. I guess you could say.
well, let's put it this way. So in the young adult area, right? Most parents nowadays, I want to say, would elect to getting most households have a computer at their
Yeah, that's
home.
true.
So most likely the kid is playing on that computer, whether he's playing online browser games or where he's playing on Steam. It is more economically found
Or watching things
than
that they're not supposed to.
that's not our age. Come on now. Um, getting a computer is more economically found than getting a console every single year. Any parent with any sense of financial responsibility would understand this.
Yeah.
Um, for a very little kid, obviously, they're not going to be playing on the computer because most parents are very restrictive of it and they don't
I
want
mean,
them sitting on
you
it
would
for
hope
long
that
periods
parents
of
be
time.
restrictive.
Hmm?
I mean, you would hope that parents would be restrictive.
Yeah, I would hope so too, but unfortunately, that's not the case always. But
Yeah.
there is those parents that are very aggressively like, you should not be on a computer for more than 5 hours a day, or 2 hours a day, like,
Well, I
being
think
very broad.
honestly, while I do agree with that sentiment, I think was more true of a decade or so ago as opposed to now because nowadays everything is just very much electronic and just connected to the internet. Like everything we do is just over electronic devices now.
Yeah,
And like there are a lot more kids nowadays who have iPhones, who have their own tablets. Like one of my cousins' friends or whatnot, they have kids who are like 8 and 10 years old. They have their own tablets. They have their own consoles. Uh, I don't know if they necessarily have their own phone, but it is one of those things where it's like just kids nowadays. They have all these electronic uh, devices, and oh my god, where was I going with this? My brain just kind of had a blank. God damn it. But it's one of those where, oh yeah, they do have all these electronic devices because, one, parents do know that this is just kind of what the now is. So I doubt they would be as restrictive to it. You know, granted, I'm not saying that you should let electronic devices uh, teach and raise your kid, but I do think compared to how it was 20 years ago, I do think it's a very much a different landscape how it is now raising children.
yeah. And I will agree also that yes, for a very little kid, the chances of them being more of a, let's say, a PC gamer over a console gamer is less likely because of how much advertising companies like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they advertise their consoles, their games constantly on TV. So the likelihood of a kid seeing something for a computer on TV is next to unlikely now
Yeah,
right now.
it's also going to be one of those factors of will adults like how many adults nowadays are going to be comfortable putting a credit card on an account and letting a kid have something digital as opposed to physical. Um, because I do think there is going to be that factor to also play in it because it's one of those things where it's like gifts, you know, like kids they do like physical gifts.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
But it also all depends on the kid itself, though.
yeah, that is
So,
that
like,
is true.
if you tell if I were to tell you, hey, I just bought you every single skin on Apex Legends and every single skin that's gonna come out. Here's the account you're gonna be using. Somebody who understands what Apex is, a little kid that understands that that's an amazing gift. I don't
Yeah,
need a physical copy of that. I just know this account has everything on it.
just don't lock yourself
Awesome.
out of it.
Knock yourself out with it. Over some other kid who would appreciate, having the physical CD or cartridge or whatever it may be, you know, they are gonna be happy about it in Christmas morning because they are go to the tree, they see all their gifts at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then oh hey, it's one of my gifts.
Low key, just give it like 10, 20 years from now, and it's like, mommy, daddy, what's a video game disc? And it's just like, oh my god, I've gotten old.
Yeah,
We're definitely getting to that point. Because I know that there are a lot of kids nowadays who don't even know what a VCR is. So,
oh
my cousin's son, he's, oh boy,
yeah.
just wait till he learns about it. But yeah. Any and that's actually our final topic. As I've mentioned before, is there any other thoughts you want to add to this, or because I think we've pretty much got out pretty much all that we had to say on it, by the sound of it.
Um, I have just one last thing that obviously, that it, like obviously anybody who's a PC gamer and is looking into this, I, as hyped as I made this thing sound because of the features, there's still things that we need to know about it. So for all
Yeah,
you
do your
know, it
research
could
first
be
before buying. Yeah.
exactly do your research before buying on anything in general. Because for all you know, this could be a glorified piece of poop.
Yeah, and especially if it's one of those things where it's just like, especially if you don't keep up with the gaming industry all that often, or even the tech industry all that often, it's one of those things where it's like, unless you truly know what kind of product this is, because of the fact that you follow Steam and the tech and video game industry so much, like it's one of those where just don't buy it off impulse.
Yeah,
So
because don't get me wrong, as much as you will probably enjoy that one product, there's most likely another company that's probably doing something better
Nintendo
for
eventually.
less.
Nintendo
Yes, in
eventually.
this case, Nintendo now against Valve.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate Valve for giving Nintendo the competition, because I do think they severely need it to some extent. Not that they were, not that they're overly lax, but I think with this it's just kind of like, hey Nintendo, now you got to step up your game a bit.
Yes,
Um,
100%. I think Nintendo has been on a kind of like on their own boat for a very long time.
that's definitely the Pokemon company. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and with this, I want to say that it should give them a little bit of kick on their ass and be like, okay, we need something that will blow people's minds. What can we do?
Give us a Switch Pro. Like, I'll be honest, if they make a Switch Pro and it's like the features on it are way better and it's way sturdier than my current Nintendo Switch, I actually will be willing to buy it. But it's one of those, I need I need the product itself to be worth more than the amount of time I spend on it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think that's currently it for everything we have today. Almost, we actually almost hit the 2 hour mark.
Bruh.
I'm actually surprised we didn't actually go way over it. There were other topics we could have covered tonight, but I felt that these were just honestly the most important, because everything else would have just been like, oh hey, here's a rumor. So that's pretty much all like we got so far. Just like nothing substantial. Like everything here tonight was just everything that I thought was substantial enough to talk about. Like
Yeah.
the whole Mara game selling for 1.5 million. Like just again, goddamn. Like, like what does that guy work as? Like Jesus Christ. But
Stock market.
yeah. God, don't I feel that one? But yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for this episode. Just really quick, want to thank everyone who decided to tune in. If you want to keep up to date with future content, be sure to follow and subscribe to the channel, and follow my Twitter, as well as join my Discord for just any and all updates. I will try to remember, and by try to remember, I meaning as soon as I stop recording this and upload it to YouTube, I will try and remember to put in uh, Caesar's Twitter and his his Twitch in the links below because I still have yet to do that with the first episode.
You're funny.
I'm hilarious. But yeah, guys, seriously, thanks for tuning in. As I said before, all the social links will be in the description below if you want to keep up to date and just kind of join in on the fun. So, and yeah,
You really like giving them hope, huh?
that's a way to put it. But yeah, till next episode, guys. Hopefully we are able to get out a new one in another couple of weeks. I'm trying to see if I can't get more guests to come on to the show, just because of the fact that I know that we're not always going to be here, both Caesar and I. So I do want to see if I can't find some more backup guests. So it's a work in progress. Episode 2, I do think with this one there has been a lot of progress made just in terms of the format of everything. But yeah, I'm gonna just cut this episode off before I continue rambling. So until next time, this has been Graywolf from Graywolf Gaming, bringing you Gaming Towel. Till next episode, Graywolf out.